If he was an Al-Qaeda prisoner who was put in solitary confinement for 10 weeks, he would have joined some left-wing group called Cage Prisoners and would have sued the government and got a $10 million settlement for torture. But like I say, a different law for Tommy Robinson. Isn't that the case? I have hope. The two judges overseeing this case seem to be very serious and credible judges. One of them, I think, is the most senior judge on the Queen's Bench. I have to believe they're taking this case seriously. And therefore I hope, perhaps naively, that Tommy will be acquitted. But shame on the Attorney General for proceeding in the meantime. And let me tell you why I say that. I don't just say that because I'm a friend and an ally of Tommy. I say that because I listened carefully, and if you were following on Twitter, I did my best to type what I heard in the court. Like I say, they could not argue that Tommy disrupted the case because he did not. So what did they have left? What we heard was that Tommy took great lengths to find out what the rules were. He checked the TV screen in the court. He checked with the staff. He checked on the door. And there was a witness today, Michelle Dunderdale was her name, who was the operations manager for that court up in Leeds. And she said under oath that her staff failed in 3 ways. They failed to put the notice on the TV screen. They failed to put it on the in-the-court information system called Crest. And they failed to put the notice on the door. Now, at that point in time, I think the case should have been dismissed right there, but yet the Attorney General proceeded. But here's the thing. Tommy went in and asked, what are the rules? Is there a publication ban? No one in the court knew. And in those 3 failures, the court admitted they didn't tell anyone. But even if that's not the fact, Tommy did not discuss the goings-on in the trial because he didn't know about them. If you saw the live stream, as many of you did, Tommy didn't talk about what this witness said or what that evidence was because he didn't know. He wasn't in the court. The trial was over. So even if Tommy would have known that there was a publication ban, it didn't matter because he did not talk about the proceedings. All he did was read from a newspaper article that was online. There is no there. There's nothing there. And he already served 10 weeks in solitary confinement for something that was not there. Give me 1 more minute, Danny, and then I'll go off the screen. So what did the Attorney General do, given that he could not argue that the trial was disrupted? Given that Michelle Dunderdale, the star witness for the prosecution, admitted under oath 3 failures to do her job. So what did the Attorney General say? Why are we all gathered here? Why has £1 million been spent prosecuting Tommy, and God knows how much in policing? I saw a police helicopter, for crying out loud. Each one of these cops here, and I'm of the sort that says the cops on the beat are the good guys. It's the brass who are directing them to turn a blind eye. Don't you think these cops have better things to do, like maybe going after some rape gangs? So why has £1 million been spent prosecuting Tommy for 14 months? And why has probably £1 million been spent having these cops stand around in downtown London instead of hunting for rape gangs in the towns? Why? Well, what did the Attorney General have to say? I swear to God, I kid you not, read the transcript yourself. He had 2 main arguments. The first was a bizarre question about who asked what court officer about the ban, and was it Tommy or his staff, and who took the picture, and it was, I don't think it made any ground, but I think we spent an hour on that. But here's the meat of what was left. The Attorney General's hand-picked QC prosecuting this case spent an enormous amount of time grilling Tommy on the stand about why Tommy was so mean to the rapists. I swear to God, give me a Quran, I'll swear on the Holy Book. The Attorney General was a white knight in shining armor coming to the moral rescue of rapists. I swear to God. And we watched in that courtroom, we watched the live stream of Tommy interacting with these rapists. And I should tell you, Tommy never swore at them. Tommy never insulted them. Tommy never called them convicted. They would be convicted in a matter of hours. They were just still accused at that point. All Tommy said was, "How you feeling about the verdict today?" I'm sorry, that's hurting the feelings of these delicate little muffins. I swear to God, give me a Quran. That is what the Attorney General grilled Tommy Robinson about on the stand for most of the time. And the Attorney General actually argued, swear to God, I know you don't believe me. You can read the transcript when this thing's all over. Theresa May's discredited Attorney General sent a lawyer into the Old Bailey to argue that not only was asking people on their way into court, "How you feeling about the verdict today?" That's verbatim. Not only is that causing too much stress and anxiety for these molesters, but the Attorney General also argued that merely taking a photograph of someone heading into a court was contempt of court. Now, you must think I'm lying because that's so nonsensical. How many cameras took a picture of Tommy going into court today? There must have been 20. And I know you don't believe me, but the Attorney General for Theresa May, his hired QC today, argued that simply taking a picture of an accused walking into the court was contempt of court because it would bring the administration of justice into question or something like that. That is what your £1 million has gone into doing. And so do you see why I said that there is no public interest here and there is no likelihood of conviction if the law itself is to be followed? If the Attorney General's argument is to be accepted, no journalist will ever be able to do their work again. But of course we know there's one law for the media party and another law for Tommy Robinson. Let me close on this. There's an interesting website you can find quickly by the courts. It's justice.gov.uk, and it has every single contempt of court ruling in the United Kingdom. It's very interesting. It's easy to read. It's easy to find on Google. You can read them all. And they're fairly plain language. They're not that technical. And I've probably read 100 of those cases. And you have to look through 100 to find anyone who's put in jail. Most of the time a judge just says, "Okay, you didn't mean it, come on, clean up your act, get moving." The law is designed to bring people into compliance, not to punish them. I have never, and I've only read 100, and there's probably more, I have never seen a contempt of court prosecution stretch on to 7 court dates in 14 months. Never. It has never happened since the time of the Star Chamber. Tommy Robinson was the first journalist to be imprisoned for contempt of court since the 1940s. And let me tell you just about one case for comparison so you know an example. George Galloway, the controversial leftist member of Parliament, former member of Parliament, is in a lawsuit with his very pretty former assistant, Aisha Ali Khan. I think they were more than just assistant and boss. And they had a lot of litigation. There was a lot of stuff going on, and the court said, publication ban, you guys can't talk about this in public. But Aisha Ali Khan just couldn't stop. And she kept talking about it in public and tweeting about it again and again and again and again and again. I just said again 5 times. There were 2 orders not to do it. She broke those orders on 26 occasions. So this is someone who was ordered by the court twice to stop doing something. She defied the court 26 times. And only after that did the court give her a 12-week sentence, of which she served probably 2 years. Tommy Robinson did not do anything willfully, tried to check with the court to see what the rules were. He did not describe anything in the court. He immediately offered to take down the live stream, and that man who took those steps to be in compliance was sent to prison. a 13-month sentence and he served 10 weeks in solitary confinement? If he was an Al-Qaeda prisoner who was put in solitary confinement for 10 weeks, he would have joined some left-wing group called Cage Prisoners and would have sued the government and got a $10 million settlement for torture. But like I say, a different law for Tommy Robinson. Isn't that the case? Well, my friends, I've taken enough of your time, but I wanted to tell you what I heard in there today. We're resuming again tomorrow. I think we start at 10. Tommy Robinson may be called back onto the stand. The prosecutor will sum up his case, and then we'll hear, I understand, from Mr. Furlong, Tommy's lawyer. And then we'll see what happens. It's possible that the verdict will come out immediately. I don't know. But I do know this. What I have observed today about Tommy possibly bringing the legal system into disrepute, I was convinced today that Tommy did not do that. But I was convinced instead that Theresa May's Attorney General, through this malicious and political prosecution, that the Attorney General has brought the administration of justice into disrepute. And I say this as someone from Canada, a daughter of the British Commonwealth, who has Queen Elizabeth on our stamps and passports and coins. We love the United Kingdom. We look to you as the light of liberty, the land of the Magna Carta. And my God, people, get your act together. Thank you.
I'm here in London reporting on Tommy's trial. To help us out and to see all our videos, go to realreporters.uk.